Hello there, web development is fun again with Datastar. When you look at this new setup, you are noticing the Twitch chat up there, because I am on Twitch now, so link in the description. I will stream a lot. The second thing you are noticing is this cool background effect, and you're like, wow, it's so cool, how did he do it? I will tell you at the end of the video, alright, if you stay until there. But it's like a background effect that is inspired by Balatro, which is a game I enjoyed greatly. And the thing you are not seeing, but you are going to see now, because we want to make a game, I am planning to make a game inspired by Balatro. We want to be able to drag stuff on the screen, and you can see I can drag my card, my stack of cards here on the screen. Hovering 1, hovering 2, you see they react accordingly. And we can place the sequences. For example, we can do pi, I drop it on 3, then I drop it on 1, then I drop it on 4, and then I drop it on 2, and 3 again, and you see I can drop it somewhere else. I can throw the cards around. So we have a draggable system. The idea is going to be to place cards on stuff. So this is the topic of this video today. Before I show you how I did it in this example, let's start with a pure Datastar example. So I made this code pen. Here, what you are seeing is a drag me button, and I can click on it and move it from one side to another. It's just the x-axis, but it gives the right ID. Alright, this is done purely with Datastar. So let's take a look. We have our draggable div. We are going to declare some signal, drag, which is going to be a boolean true false if we are dragging the stuff or not, and then the x position where we want to move an element from A to B, so we are going to record A and record B. Alright, using namespace signals like this is very handy for this kind of stuff. Then on pointer down, so pointer can be a mouse, a finger, whatever, we are going to switch drag to true. Then XA and XB are going to be set up at the spot where we clicked. So when you click on something, when you put your pointer on something, your finger or whatever, it triggers an event. And this event is natively captured by Datastar, and it has a very handy X property that you can take. So I'm rounding it so it displays better than here. Otherwise it's a float with a lot of decimals. It's kinda ugly, but you get the idea. So we are going to put XA and XB at the spot where we clicked. Then what happens when we move? The thing is, if we are moving the mouse and we are dragging, we want something to happen. This is why we need the drag variable, alright? If we are not dragging, we don't want to do anything, we want to let the user move. So if we are dragging, XB is gonna change, it's gonna update dynamically to a new value, and that's all. We can compute a signal called dx, which is going to be xb minus xa, so the delta between b and a, and apply a data style transform, and we simply put a translate in pixel of dx. And because signals in Datastar are reactive, they react to what you do when you change them. Moving this will change xb, which is going to update dx, which is going to update the transform property, and that data style transform x translation. So you see we have one last line to reset the drag variable when we release the button and to put A and B back to 0. If I release my element, it goes back to its original position, but you can make it stick with another variable, which is going to be initial position equals 0, and then you record what happens on pointer up. So as an exercise, maybe you can do it for the y-axis, but it's like just 5-6 data attributes to make something draggable. It's not the best kind of draggable, alright, but it's a nice showcase of the reactive properties of signals in Datastar. Let me show you where I got this idea, because I didn't get this idea from nowhere. Actually, if I open the console on what I showed you before, and we go take a look at my cards, we see div id equals card, style, transform, translate, touch action now. So this card is made draggable by a JavaScript library called anim.js. And basically, I just looked at anim.js, I realized that to create a draggable element, they just applied a transform matching the mouse movements, and I tried to do the same. You can find another example of it, and I will show you in my website. You can drag my avatar and move it around, and you have little text when you do this. Whoa, put me down! That appears. Alright, it's very funny, and you see the avatar is moving as well. So this will be a nice, let's say, intermediate lesson before the big lesson of Palatro. How to do this? Very, very simple, very easy, barely an inconvenience. So what's gonna happen is that you are going to import the anim.js library. You can see it here, I think. Yes, so I have an index.js file which is running on the index of my website. I start with an import from anim.js here. I import some stuff, animate, blah blah, but the important stuff is create draggable, obviously here. This is a bit of code that I like to put, and this is where it starts. To create something draggable with anim.js, very simple. You just put create draggable, the CSS identifier, so I put an ID card. No, not ID card. It should be ID avatar, and I was rushing. Okay, it's the same thing. So you put create draggable here, create draggable avatar. You say container body, container padding, so because I have a scale effect, I want to not have the whole body to contain the draggable positions, but restrain it a bit. Container friction, so that cannot escape the container, right? And that's basically all you have to do, alright? This is for added flavor. On grab, we are going to see how to do the text display. On grab, on drag, and on release are callbacks. So there are stuff that functions that will trigger whenever you grab, drag, or release the avatar. On grab, I want to dispatch an event. The event is here. It's a custom event called avatar. It's important that we say bubbles, so we are going to catch it somewhere else in the document. And now if we go and take a look, we have, okay, so let's move me and quickly inspect that. Div, so the dialog here, you see we have a data on avatar window. So we have a data on attribute which will react on the avatar event, which is a custom event I just wrote, and it will listen to it on the window, so I don't care, the event will bubble up and will be caught at some point. What happens when the avatar event pops? I just show the element. So L is the element with the data on attached, but I'm sure you know that. The show function I define on the window in my index.js. It's just to flex some JavaScript, window.show function L. We use the anim.js because we want to rentabilize these 10 kilobytes to animate it, opacity 1, duration 200. No big deal, but this is to show you how grabbing some stuff in the page can trigger other stuff elsewhere. Just simply use custom events and it's really fine. For the scaling and the shadow effect, on drag, wiggle.play. Wiggle is a function that will scale the avatar. I wanted to make it change size and wiggle and rotate, but it was like way too overwhelming, so I just scaled instead. Autoplay equals false and persist equals true. So this is very important that you persist the animation. Anim.js will clean animations after they are done playing to free memory. But here, when the animation is done playing, I still want to keep it in memory, to reset it on initial state when I drop the avatar. See? And simply dropping the avatar on release, we pause the wiggle animation and we seek the 0 time. So we go back to the 0 time, like rewinding a movie to the first frame, if you want. So this was the intermediate example of how to have draggable elements which can trigger other stuff on the page. If you're still there, congratulations, go grab a coffee. We are going to go into the advanced mode. Alright. So here we still have our draggable element. It's still going to be powered by anim.js. The overing is a bit special. So we are going to write some JavaScript. It's okay to write some JavaScript to have this feature. First, we start with create draggable. The card, I want it to be in the main container, and snap 10, so it has quantized release positions. That's something that interests you. Then I'm going to select all the slots, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then I have a function called beep. Why beep? I don't know. Which is going to take the position of the card, and then for every slot take the position of the slot and check if the card is inside the slot. So the card we are going to take, as you see here, the middle of the card, x plus width divided by 2 each time. So it's really the middle of the card which is going to trigger the up, which one is hovered. So every slot is checking, am I hovered by the card or not? And if inside, if one of them is inside, resting equals false, so we have a flag to indicate whether or not our card is in the rest zone, so the 0 zone, as you can see here. And we display, as usual, a custom event. So it's going to be called beep. I wasn't really inspired. And we are going to pass some information now in this custom event. So this is something you can do, and this is interesting information is which one was hovered, right? Which slot was hovered. So we have an ID attribute on the slot that we can pass. See here, data slot data ID equals 1, 2. I can call them whatever. Alright. And we are going to dispatch this beep event. And if we are resting, so none of the slots was hovered, we are going to pass a beep event with detail 0 instead. So basically, we have our beep event. Let's see where we grab it. So you should be searching for data on beep. Do we have our data on beep? Data on beep. There it is. Sorry. There it is. Data on beep. So we define a hover signal to 0 and data on beep hover equals, we parse it to an int, even.detail. So 0 for the resting position and 1, 2, 3, 4. And data on drop, if we are hovering something, we want to do the drop sequence. How to do the drop sequence? First, we are going to define the drop event. So const.drop event bubbles equals true. Card on drag, you see I have defined here my card as a draggable. I define a function that will check for every slot and then card on drag beep card. Maybe it's not the best solution, but it's a very simple one. Okay, if you have a better solution, please notify the others in the comments. The drop event, there's really nothing in it. It's just there to bubble up to the DOM. Bubble equals true, card on release. We dispatch the event, and we are going to dispatch it from the card. See, this is why we don't have the modifier window this time, because we are going to catch it at main. We know the card is inside the main, so no need to have a window modifier here. The card will display the event and we'll catch it because it's bubbling. And data on drop, if we are hovering stuff, we do a post to a route called drop. So now it's the best part of the video, right? It's time for a bit of stereo. So this is the code of the site, JSON, async IO, blah blah blah. We import stereo, the usual stuff. We import the HTML elements that we want here. Then we have index view, so I didn't show you that, but it's something very simple. It's a single player versus auto-play, blah blah blah. Just a placeholder. What happens when I click on single player? I have a link, like a very regular link to 1p, one player, which is basically going to return this, which is an empty shell. So we are going to just send a body, and the body, when initialized, have a data in it, and will issue a GET request to initiate the connection, the long-lasting connection to it. So it's going to be very, very fast, but this is it. Maybe we can take a look like in the network. Yep. And I'm going to reload the page. It's safe to reload. It's just going to send back again the empty shell, which will reinitiate the connection. And yes, here you can see one piece. So this is my connection here. No, it's solo CQRS, yes. So this is my long-running connection. All right. And then I just have to issue post request to another route, which I dropped, as you saw. And you are going to see here the little drops happening, modifying the state on the backend, and the long-lasting connection updating the drop sequence. Every time I just send the updated view of the solo player stuff. What does it look like in practice when you take a look at the code? So, solo view, drop sequence, I just join the information I have on my backend, like on the context request. I send a body, I send a big fat SVG, but let's not take a look at this. Data on beep, we see data on drop as well. Drop sequence, you can see it here. Here there's my board, there's my card. I don't need this data in your morph at all, right? Morph is enough so that because the card has an ID, it's not morphing like its style, it's seeing that nothing changed, so it's not morphing its style. You see the card stays in place. I just send it back. I just send ID equals card, see? But I maintain here the translate values here. That's the beauty of idiomorph, which is the morphing strategy of Datastar. And yes, that's it. So this is Stario. We have a release date soon. I'm not going to talk about Stario that much, but I have a lot of fun developing with it. I serve my application and we are done. Alright, so basically using some JavaScript to glue anim.js and Datastar. It's very easy. Bubble events when you want. Hit draggables where you want. And if you still follow the Tao, do CQRS and stuff like this, it's going to be alright. Okay, now I promised a background explanation. So how did I do this background? I started with making two blob shapes, SVG blob shapes. Then I am using anim.js. I have imported it, so let's use it to merge from one shape to the other with anim.js. It's very easy. It's literally just this. You just call animate and you change the D property. So D is the path. Alright, defining the shape. I close the path and I fill it. Looping, alternating, and I put some stagger because I can. Right. When you import 10 kilobytes of the Datastar, you want to crank the most out of it. It's the same for anim.js. The SVG looks like this, so I first define here two paths in the definition tags, and then I use it over and over again, but one time filled with crimson, one time with blue, one time with liam, one time with cyan. Yeah, I can put one more. I think when fill equals, how do I feel? I feel Blanche Talmon, I think it is. We have one more blob. Yeah, we have one more blob, but a bit more white. And yeah, it's just blobs moving. the main has a backdrop filter to make it... let me show you a bit of the CSS. So it's the 6 same blobs moving, but because I put just them at 20% opacity, I started with, blur them and then have a mix blend mode so that they can mix. And yes, it was interesting and stuff. Gives you this, but it's not the same, right? Let's keep it simple. We just want stuff to merge naturally. Or SVG already as a background to not be full white, so it's this background here. And for the card, it's just a basic, SVG background. The slots, when hovered, background equals blue. So yeah, hovered is a data attribute that I set up dynamically with the events. I didn't mention that, but this comes naturally when you do Datastar. You put attributes dynamically and then you catch them in your HTML, you catch them in your CSS, you catch them whenever you want, because you are not far from the specs. So let's see. Main. Yeah, main is here. Backdrop filter, you see we can chain some blur effect, some brightness, so that we still have some movement behind, and the frosted glass blur effect. So, why did I do this background? I wanted to test Inkscape as a way to generate SVG and assets, and it didn't go as planned. Alright, great experience. Overall, this background is quite heavy on the animation or the processor. It's just 5 stuff moving, but maybe it's already too much. I don't know. I do feel like it runs way better when I delete it, so for the next iteration I will probably just put a background video and call it a day. But if you enjoyed this video, give me strength to pursue this Balatro game. Subscribe to be informed of the latest Stario news. Go on Twitch so that we can chat and request your website. I hope you don't mind a more technical video for once. This was all for today, but see you in the next video.